Okay, we are officially live streaming now, and it is 2 o'clock. So this is the opportunity to sing Lara's praises. But first of all, I'd like to say just thank you to everybody that's here. This is going to be a fantastic. Okay, officially live streaming now. I forgot to do that one part. So it's so great to see everybody here. We have a fantastic group. Wow, Lori's here, Bob's here. Hi, Debs. Oh my gosh, like some of my very favorite people. Oh, so good to see all of you. Lily, Ruthie. And people I've never met before, Bazina, hi, and Nigel. Oh, look, Freya's here too. Oh. So without further ado, let's see. I think I first met Lara through Lori. Is that right? Through Lori Hammond in the group that she ran?
Possibly.
And then maybe through MMHA too?
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember, remember lots of conversations we've had through that and through probably Lori. And and then Jason Lynette's business group as well.
Well, and you always struck me as just brilliant and very witty, and I love like dry wit, and you definitely have that in spades. And we both have a bit of a potty mouth, and I think actually yours might be a little dirtier than mine, which I don't run into very often, so that's kind of exciting. But I absolutely I loved everything that I've seen you do. I've sort of been following you, and then you're helping me with that other group, the healthy eating group. So thank you for that. And so today's protocol, let's let Lara just tell us all about it. I'm super excited. Okay. And I'm going to put it on speaker view so that the recording itself has your face as the primary speaker, and then we'll sort of go back and forth. There will be a break after she describes the protocol for any questions. And so you can just pop those questions into the chat, and then I'll read them off to her and she can respond to them. And then towards the end, she's also going to take us through a hypnotic protocol. So just make sure that you're in a safe place, you're not driving, operating heavy machinery, or as I learned, not using a 7-inch Santoku chef's knife while listening to hypnosis. Not a good idea. I lost the very tip of one finger, so I didn't feel it because I was in a trance. And so then I think there's going to be a Q&A at the very end, right? So, all right, without further ado, let's pop your beautiful face up here and there you go. Take it away. And if everybody could just mute themselves for now, that would be fantastic.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the protocol is, or the origin of the protocol. And then we'll do an induction, and then I'll show you the protocol. And I've tried practicing how I'm going to explain this protocol, and basically however I say it, it always comes out a bit differently. It's got different versions of it. Some of the things are true, and some of the things just depends on my mood, and that's changeable. So I'll start with the protocol is what I feel is I use it for clients to stop smoking. I've used it for weight loss, but I use it ultimately for myself. I believe it came from performance anxiety. So I used to do stand-up comedy, and before that, so I spent probably about 7 years of doing stand-up, and during that time, and even before that, I'd say there's probably about 15 years where I probably spent a lot of time with self-sabotaging behaviour, some of which was a lot of fun. So I'm not trying to say like I had but there was a period of time where I think I was doing a lot of things that I felt like morally, ethically questionable to myself. And I think everything came to a head while I was doing stand-up. I had quite a difficult relationship, which I think culminated and brought everything to a head. And there were lots of reasons why I stopped doing stand-up. And this is what I say, whenever I tell someone the reason, there'll always be a different version of that reason. So this is the one I'm giving you today. But I stopped doing stand-up, and I thought I'll continue, I'll do writing. I went to teaching, and I never really wanted to be a teacher. And I went to teach thinking I'll support my writing. I wanted to get away from my previous world and start again and just do something conventional and normal. And I never intended to stay in teaching, but I ended up, and even now, I can't even say I'm fully healed because I'm still teaching now. I'm still doing 2 days a week. So I'm not even a proper hypnotist, but don't worry, I've got my certificates in the post. So don't worry, it's going to be all right. But yeah, so I went into teaching, and even then my performance anxiety, now bearing in mind I teach drama and English, you would think, and I did stand-up comedy, you would think that I would be okay, that I could, that I'd be all right teaching. or like, but I was still suffering, well, not immediately, but I ended up still suffering from quite a lot of performance anxiety. So it got really bad at one point where I was sort of like having to rehearse going into a room, you know, like, you know, and here, hello kids, you know, and this is secondary school. So I was basically feeling like at some point I was having a nervous breakdown and having to, you know, not sleeping. So I didn't sleep properly for about 6 months, and I was having to rehearse just basic stuff. And I went to see a hypnotherapist after an extended period of going to doctors, sleeping pills, and this went on for, you know, for quite a few years. And eventually, with another period of insomnia, I went to see a hypnotherapist, and I had some therapy, and that was really helpful. I got loads from it. And then a few months later, I had this dream, and this is a bit that will never change, and this is the factual bit, and that's what I say, I can tell you versions of everything else, but this bit is absolutely how it was. Had a dream where I woke up and I shot an albatross, and I'm not a violent person, but I woke up with this amazing feeling. But this, I thought, wow. And I knew really, really clearly that I had to stop teaching. I had to, I was doing 5 days. I was probably doing about 70 hours a week at that point. So I think even like in, you know, it's a really hard job anyway. And I was working for an outstanding school, so the pressure was huge. But yeah, so I had this revelation that that's it. The albatross is the teaching, and I shot it, and I felt great. So I knew what I had to do. So then from then on, I went part-time. I found a way. I did other things to enable me to go part-time, and that brings me to where I am now. So I'm still doing 2 days. I'm doing hypnosis. But so as I say to you, I'm still not entirely clear. I went to see Bob not that long ago for insomnia. I still get massive spikes of insomnia and stress related stuff. So that's the protocol, the albatross. Okay, so the albatross is a way to get rid of stuff. Like for me, I know that my performance anxiety is related to feelings of guilt and things that I've done, or I feel like it is. I feel like the teaching was my shame, was carrying around some things, trying to come away from the person I was supposed to be, because I hate teaching, and I've done it for 15 years. And it's not that I'm not a good teacher, I just don't like being a teacher. So that's what it is. And so that's where we are. That's the albatross. I don't want to say any more about the albatross itself, but what I would like you to do today is I would want you to have something that you feel like that's weighing you down, something that's heavy, or something. It could be a person, it could be a relationship. And I always feel like whenever I've mentioned to my husband, I'm sure he was thinking, am I the albatross? So I said, no, I'm very clear that, you know, he's not the albatross, the kids are not the albatross. I was very, very clear that the albatross for me was my teaching. But it could be for anything. As I've said, I've done this for smoking. Am I talking too fast? So yeah, so it can be for anything. So this is an opportunity to get rid of something, a thing, a feeling. Could be, you know, it could be a self-confidence issue, could be an event, it could be whatever you want it to be. And that's what I'd really like for you to get today, some opportunity to get rid of something. Which then brings me, if everyone's ready, and I have actually done this, I've done this to Peter as the first person I tried this out on before I went out with clients to it, which I really appreciate. And that was great. And he actually got he knew where it come from. I'd never read the poem before, by the way. The albatross is just that, you know, the phrase, you wear an albatross around your neck. It was only after I came up with the protocol that I then went away and read the poem. If everyone's ready, we can do the induction. And the induction I got from Laurie Hammond's, one of Laurie Hammond's amazing Transfer Tuesdays. And it was, who was it? I think it was Minnow Little was on that particular session, and he did a lovely induction, which for me goes really well with the protocol I'm going to show you. And I think it seems like a version of heart coherence anyway. So if everyone's ready and you're ready to go into trance, I invite you now just to put your hands on your heart and take a nice deep breath and just get comfortable. And you can just sort of become aware of your heartbeat and any feeling that you may have had up until this moment. Could be a feeling of frustration or boredom from me talking too quickly. Whatever it is, it's fine. Just allow your breathing to be as it is. Just simply take a few breaths, and then when you're ready, I'd just invite you to put one of your hands on your head. So you've got one hand on your heart and one hand on your head. And if you want, you can close your eyes now and just simply imagine that as you close your eyes, you've got a small elevator, or I prefer to call it a lift in the UK. You've got a lift in your head, a tiny little lift. And when you breathe in, that lift goes all the way to your head, all the way up. And as you breathe out, you breathe back down, the lift travels back down to your heart. And you breathe in, the lift goes all the way back to the head. And you breathe out, and the lift goes all the way back down to your heart. And what this enables you to have is a really lovely connection between your head and your heart. And it may help you to breathe color and imagine the color of your heart. So as you're breathing in, you're breathing in feelings, and you're taking those feelings to your head. So you're thinking feelings. And as you breathe back down again, you're sending those head thoughts all the way back down to your heart. So you're feeling thoughts. And just carry on, just taking a nice deep breaths, and allow yourself to become more relaxed. Allow yourself to settle into the chair that you're sitting on, or the bed that you're sitting on. And now you can put the hand that was on your head, you can put it on your tummy. And that tummy, and our tummy, the part of us that contains all those, our intuitions, our gut feelings, our emotions, our creative part, our primal bit, and just allow your breathing to go all the way from your heart to your tummy, and all the way back from your tummy to your heart. And as you breathe out, you can breathe out any doubt. Breathe in a really good feeling of connection. And I just want you to imagine there's someone else in the room that you saw. You're going to send out love, a feeling of connection towards them. Someone you saw at the beginning of the call, and just feel that connection. Now, if everyone imagines that somebody unique has been connected, we can all join together, and we are all connected. We're all one. Now, if you'd like to get comfortable, really, and I mean really, really comfortable now, and you can move around at any point of time, because I'd like you now to imagine a time long ago when you remember learning something so important on a very deep level. And this thing that you've learned could be coded. It could be coded as a feeling or a color. It could be coded as a spell, because your unconscious mind has ways of coding things in a way which is unique to you. And some people believe that our unconscious minds are all connected, like a million stars, billions of stars in the galaxy, or a super speed highway. And we can just tune in to each other's super consciousness, which is why even before the days of the internet, you get these amazing artists who produce work of art simultaneously without ever having seen each other's work. But whatever you believe about your unconscious mind, whether you believe it's just a part of you, that contains all the wisdom from this life of yours, and all the learnings, as well as any other learnings you may have had from any previous lives. However you feel, it's just a part of you that controls your breathing and the ways your nails grow. Or it could just be a part of you, your mind alone, but whatever you believe about your unconscious mind, let your unconscious mind take you to a time where you learned something so powerfully that when you woke back up to reality, or rather when you woke back into reality, you were filled with the desire to tell your story. Because every time you tell your story, you felt the most amazing relief from all your previous pain, or your previous compulsion to behave or act in a certain way. The story that you learned but can't quite remember. And somehow, somewhere, you don't know how and you don't know where, but you just know that for years after all this suffering, that somehow you're able to cast off your burden. You're able to remove your pain. A long time ago, you were on a journey, or perhaps it was a dream. And you just arrived back from some extraordinary life-changing experience. And you felt compelled to share your story, because every time you share your story, a little bit more of your heart heals, and you feel an urge to connect to others with love. And you remember a time, a wedding, a happy occasion, and you're somewhere exotic, and it's daytime, and you're standing by a tree and you're watching these guests pass down a beautiful cobblestone street lined with flame trees, orange and red leaves, so cool because they seem to burn like the sun. And you become aware of a face that seems to stand out and from the crowd, and you know that they need to hear your story because they too want to cast off your pain and become free. And even though the guests are so excited to get to the wedding, you tap them on the shoulder and they stop, because you can see, they can see that you have extraordinary power. And they stop and they look into your eyes because they can tell you've had an extraordinary life-transforming experience. And they stand and they stare and they go deeply into trance now. And they feel that they can't move, they feel stuck, because they can see that you have extraordinary power. They want to learn what you have learned. And as they stand and go deeply into trance, you relay the time when you were a captain. You were a captain on a boat. And the boat had been really big at one time, with smooth wooden decks, beautiful brown wooden decks. And surrounding you were people who liked you, people who knew you. They looked up to you. You were the one in command. You were the one they went to tell them which direction to go in, how best to respond to the unpredictable elements. Surrounding you were people whose judgments and opinions mattered to you. You were the one who navigated the sea. But perhaps that was a different life. Perhaps that was a dream. It really doesn't matter to your unconscious mind, because your unconscious mind learns in such powerfully diverse ways. But you can remember some happy times, can you not? Times when you were on the boat and the wind was blowing in the right direction and the sun was shining and the boat seemed to travel at a good speed, and everybody around you felt certain of the destination, and you felt safe and you felt comfortable. And even now, when you think about those happy times, you can still hear the sound of laughter ringing in your ears, can you not? But then there was that one time that you can remember, or perhaps you can recall, or perhaps you can imagine. It really doesn't matter to your unconscious mind, which has ways of learning in such diverse ways, which are powerful for you. But you remember that time when the sea became quite treacherous, and the sea rose, and the boat seemed to toss on the waves, and everyone around you started wailing and being afraid, and you became frightened, and you thought that you were in peril, and that all the life of those people on your boat were in peril. And then that time, you had a choice to make. And now when you think of that time, it reminds you of other times, other situations. And that thing you did, that choice, that behavior, that decision, you did because you thought it was going to bring you peace. You thought it was going to help you find joy or escapism or love. But that thing that you did, that behavior, caused you to suffer for many, many years afterwards. That thing that you did, you thought was going to make you feel okay, but it didn't. And just when everybody, all those people on the boat were shouting, they were shouting around you, you became aware. They were telling you that you were lost. They were telling you that they were lost at sea, and you are the captain. You must find a way out. And they're all shouting at you. And just at that point, to your amazement, this beautiful white albatross appeared, flew above your head, flew above everybody's head. This amazing, amazing bird, this mythical creature that has the biggest wingspan in the whole of the universe. This beautiful bird, and you alone as the captain of that ship, you knew that this bird had been brought to you as a gift from God, or a manifestation of your unconscious mind. And you knew that this bird had been brought to you as a key to your salvation, and that you knew that if you followed this bird out of the grey mist and the fog that had begun to envelop the ship, you would be clear, you would be safe again, you would feel peace. And so you told the boat to follow the bird. And for a while, everything seemed okay, and the boat set sail, and the mist seemed to evaporate. But then the mist grew thicker again. The mist grew thicker, and the boat seemed to get stuck. And you heard this almighty squawk from the bird. And that bird grew talons, and it was threatening you, and it was flying above your head, and you knew that your life was in peril. And the life of all those people that trusted you were in peril with you. And so you became afraid, and you lost your faith, and you became filled with self-doubt. And in your panic, in your fear, you took a gun. You took a gun and you shot that albatross. You shot that beautiful bird. And it lay on the floor, dead in front of you. And at first, the boat seemed to move off, as though this was the answer. This was the answer that you'd been looking for. And as the boat moved, everybody began to cheer and applaud you. And they thanked you for taking this action. They thanked you for this brave decision that you made. And everyone seemed all right, and everyone seemed happy. And the mist thinned out again, and the vision looked clear, and you all set sail, and everything seemed all right. But that triumph was short-lived, because very soon, once again, the mist returned, but this time it was even thicker. The fog was dense, and the boat became stuck. And day after day, the boat just wouldn't move. And all those people around the boat, they became very angry with you, and they started blaming you. They started saying, you are responsible for this. You killed that bird. You killed that beautiful albatross. That was a gift. That was for you to safeguard. You killed that. You killed that thing. And they blamed you. They were angry with you. And they took that bird and they hung it. They hung it around you. They hung it around you. And they said, you can carry that pain, that shame, that guilt, that blame. I want you to, that is yours. And even now, when I say that, you can feel that pain in your body. You can feel that pain in your body. And I ask you, which part of your body can you feel it in? Where in your body can you feel it? Does it have a color? Is it moving? Because once you had that pain, that bird, they hung it around you and you carried it. You carried it through the days, through the moments, through the minutes, through the months, through the years. And it began to feel normal. That pain, that shame, that began to just feel like a part of you that you thought was yours to carry, that you forgot that it had been put on you. So you just carried it for years and years and years. And then something amazing happened. Something amazing. Someone you love beyond all consciousness, someone wise beyond all consciousness, someone who really truly loves you and who can reach you. Somehow they managed to get a message all the way through to the center of your heart. And they said to you, this is not you. That bird, that pain, that shame, that pain and shame is not you. It's time to let go. It's time to remove your burden. It's time to remove your pain. Lift off that pain from your body and lift it off now. Just lift it off. And you can actually physically lift off that pain that you can feel wherever it is in your body. Or feel me pulling it out from a part of you. Feel it being pulled out from your head. That pain, that guilt, that shame. Let it go now. And let it, just imagine it going, leaving your body bit by bit, piece by piece. Let it all go now. Just let it go. You are wonderful. You are vibrant. You are powerful. Let it go. Let it go and become free. Let it go and become what you were meant to be. And then an amazing thing happens as you lift off that pain, and as you lift it off, you can begin to feel the freedom, the lightness as you lift off that pain, and just feel it going now. Just imagine it going bit by bit as that pain, that heaviness, that whatever it is, that color leaves you, and just see it going now. And the most amazing thing happens as that pain is lifted. The white albatross that was on the floor in front of you, it comes back to life. It comes back to life and it flies up above your head, this hugely magnificent bird. It flies up and it flies off to freedom. And with that freedom, you know that you are going to be filled and become free from all your previous trouble. You're going to become free from your previous compulsion. And it takes away that thing that you'd had on, that guilt. And you see that bird come back to life, and you are filled with a sense of connectivity and joy and love. Feel you again, feel rebirthed. And from now on, whenever you see that color white, or think of the albatross, you can just be renewed with that sense of freedom and be in touch with your highest vision, the direction, because you know what you really want. You know who you really are, the true you that's been free, that authentic you has been released. And only when your unconscious mind has really installed the suggestions of confidence and new life and vitality, and you are free, and you've let go of that thing, that pain that you had before, you completely let go. When your unconscious mind is truly integrated and installed these suggestions, then you can come back, bringing that confidence, bringing that energy and that vitality and that sense of peace and wonder for life with you on the count of 5. And 1 can come back to the surface 3 times, more renewed than before, opening your eyes and wide awake for 5. Hey, how's everyone?
That was great.
Hey,
I went really deep.
oh, that's good. Is anyone happy to share anything, or anything that may have got rid of, or anyone want to ask any questions? Oh, is that Laurie? I'm just having a look at the Laurie.
Yes, I was just going to say that was really incredible. It was such a soothing, yes, it was a beautiful experience, and I could feel that lightness. And at the end, my albatross became a luck dragon. It was like this white dragon. It was an amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lara.
Oh, thank you for coming. I'm so touched you came.
I've been looking forward to it.
Oh, don't make me cry. Xander, do you have it?
Well,
Xander?
should you cry, your tears are a window to the soul.
Oh, thank you.
So when you do this, do you have modifications or ways that you do it that work better for particular items, such as stop smoking or fill in the blanks?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. For me, it's more of a case of when there's not all clients, but I won't do it with all clients. I get an instinct that this might not be for them. So it's not really the issue that they have. It's more like whether they're going to enjoy that kind of trance. It's quite wordy. It's quite, it's based, the protocol is a mixture of a poem, a metaphor. I don't know if you knew it, but there's a bit of Carl Smith's emotional detox there, where he does the get it out. So, but it depends. There are people I think, no, they're not going to like it. They're going to think this is all woo-woo, so I won't do it. So it's more like, it's not so much the issue, because I think, but there are some people that I think definitely when they start talking about self-sabotaging, guilt for whatever the issue is, and I think, and if they seem like the kind of person that will like that kind of trance, then I'll do it. But yeah, so it's more based on an instinct really than an issue. Does that answer your question?
So it's primarily around your feeling of fit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but at the moment that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Great question.
Can I speak, Lara?
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to tell you something in the chat, but I can tell you after Debs. Go ahead.
I found it quite profound the way it all linked into something for me personally anyway.
Oh.
You know, I found how as it was going along, a lot of things seemed to make sense, and it was like really, and I was working with a particular thing, you know. To be quite honest, when I was working with a particular thing, I thought I can't deal with it, and I was like trying to push it away. But as it was going along, it was easy to get into it, and then to open up it, and then to realise this is all linking in together, which was absolutely amazing. I thought it was really clever. I thought it was.
Thank you so much.
Really.
Thank you.
I will say one other thing though. You said at the beginning that you don't like teaching, but you just did.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not. I don't mind teaching. I think it's being in an institution.
Yeah.
I can't say this.
You're
I can't
great.
do that. Oh, thank you.
You're great at this.
Oh, thank you so much. But it's all coming together. I do love this, and I don't. Yeah. So yeah.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you so
That
much.
protocol was amazing.
Oh.
Well said.
Yeah. That's.
Well said.
Oh. There's thank you, Xander. Whose hands up is that? Is that Christina? Christiana. So you're on mute.
It's me. Hi guys. Hi Lara. Thank you so
Hello.
much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here on my
Hello.
first. No, I really appreciate you being here. It's amazing. And thank you all for. I didn't say that enough. Really.
Yeah. It was honestly, that was nothing like I expected it to be at all. I had no idea.
What did you expect it to be? I want to know, what did you expect it to be?
I don't know. I don't think I wasn't thinking of anything. It was really bizarre, but in a really helpful way.
It is bizarre. Yeah, that's why I do it on everyone, because I think this is a bit weird. Yeah. So I wouldn't.
But the thing is, I think what happened for me was that there was a part that really spoke to me, and that was the part where you were saying, if you don't do something about this albatross, all the other people are also going to be losing their lives, and that really had a profound. That really spoke to me tonight. That it's my duty to, not my duty, but if I don't remove this blockage or take action on it, there are other people that are counting on me, and I'll be holding them back too. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So you're welcome. I think that is all of us, though, isn't it? Really, I think that I do think because we're all attached to people, and our lives are inextricably attached to everyone's.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I ask, Lara, where did that, because I even related to a part where you says you have a dream and you're waking up and you're like, wow, it's like a wow moment. I even experienced that in the past year. So that is something that's, really profound for me.
Do you not think that's because we do hypnosis? Because I believe that. So I had hypnosis, and I think that thank you to the hypnotherapist that I had.
Yeah.
The work that I started with her enabled me to have that dream, and that's the thing about what we do, isn't it? We help people now, but we also help goes on for months afterwards, because the process is, we would have talked about teaching, I was having a nervous breakdown when I saw her, and the first thing I did when I saw her was just erupt into tears, and it wasn't, I didn't even know what it was about, but But then that, again, it's all of us, and we have these dreams, and sometimes they're helpful and sometimes they're not. But yeah, but when you get a profound one, like, this is what you need to do, it's like, thank you. You know, it's
I
like,
did. Even
yeah.
when you were saying, when I had the dream, I was putting something together work-wise, and I was missing a piece of it, and it was just not right. And I woke up with it came to me in the dream, and I woke up and I was screaming it. You know, I was shouting on like my kids and like, get me paper.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna record this. And
What
when
was
you
the
were talking
dream?
about it, what
What was the dream?
Well, I'm doing a course on anxiety management, and I was doing a 6-feather, I call it a 6-feather breath protocol. So I was doing a breathing exercise, and I was just missing an element to it. And it came to me in a dream, and I woke up and I was like, right. And I wrote it down, and I've put it all together in a package now. But it was exactly what you said.
Yes, but that's, if you look at like, you know, I'm not religious, but I was, you know, brought up Jewish when I was little, and you've got all the literature, like the Bible, it's full of dreams and stories and all this like ancient wisdom. It's all there, isn't it? Like, our dreams are there to guide us. And when we're, I think when we're doing stuff like hypnosis, or we're in a better mental state, we're just a bit more in tune with that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually had to stay awake and conscious for the whole thing so I could let people in, which was hard. I have to say, it was quite a challenge. At first I was doing this part and I was like, oh, wait, hold on. And I opened and I saw, oh yeah, there's somebody that needs to get let in. But it was beautiful to be able to witness it from that perspective, because I recognized all of these just rich, sort of symbolic, metaphorical things in it. And it kind of got dark for a while. And I was like, oh gosh, where's she going with this? and then you released the darkness. And I went, oh, I really wish I could have done this with everyone. So I am going to totally listen to this later tonight before bed so that I can benefit from it too. Because seriously, I have some self-sabotaging behaviors that it's time to kick them to the curb. I wanted to read some of these comments off to you. So we have Diana saying, that was so lovely, Lara, very freeing. Nancy, thank you, that was wonderful. Christiana, thank you, that was so interesting. This one's kind of cool. Persis said, that was powerful. At the end, instead of an albatross, I saw this huge white dog walk away from me.
Oh, wow.
And Lynn says, wonderful, thank you, Lara. Deborah, profound, that explains it very well for me. I think she was responding to Christiana when she said that. And then Bazina said, thank you, Lara, very deep. So great job.
That's me.
Yes.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I really did like the metaphorical part of it, because I've always really enjoyed the sort of story hypnosis where your own mind sort of fills in the blank, like the choose your own adventure, you know?
Yeah.
And Freddie Jacquin does some of that. And then Mike Mandel with like the castle, and you wove those things in, and it was brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, there's lots of good teachers around, isn't there? So yeah, I think the storytelling is great. And what was I thinking about the story? And also, you know, obviously the poem, Coleridge. Who's it, Coleridge? Who's written the someone must remember. My ability to remember names has just completely gone in the last 2 years. Is it Coleridge? Does anyone know, like the Ancient Mariner? The rhyme of the Ancient Mariner?
The rhyme, I think so. Samuel Coleridge, I think so.
Yes, yeah. So obviously once I had that, I then used the actual story structure. So I can't take credit for that.
Oh, somebody's coming in a little bit late. But
just a little bit.
So I'm going to go ahead and pop it into gallery view in case anybody has questions or wants to just raise their physical hands if you haven't, you know, seen how to do the reactions, but this way she can see it. Oh, Bob has a question for you.
Hey, Bob.
For just a moment. In the Ancient Mariner, he had to wear it around his neck. Is that correct? Because he's shot. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Do you know what? You're probably right. You'll know it better than me. I'd never read the poem until after my dream, and then I read it. And then I read it like once through. It's quite a long poem. So what happens in the actual story? What happens in the real?
He shot it, and of course, he had to wear it because of that.
Yeah. That is what I think I'd say in the protocol. In my actual dream, I shot the bird and I was very happy. But obviously that you know, it's quite a short protocol, isn't it? if you just like, you shoot the bird and you're happy, that's done. Do you know the poem?
I do know the poem. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Has anyone else got their hand up? No.
I don't see any other hands up.
No.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments or want to share what their thing is that they were letting go
Oh,
and be brave?
was there any way that you changed that materially?
Is there any way I have or would do? Is that what you're asking me?
Either answer.
I mean, I haven't yet, but it's still pretty new, so it's not like, you know, yeah, it's probably early days, so I don't really know. I mean, I'm trying to think, when I've been doing it for about 6 months. Yeah, so I don't know, Xander. There's another good question. But I think partly with the thing with that story is because it's quite a word-based trance, and it is quite wordy, and that's why I say it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yes.
I think it's, you know, and this is the whole thing, isn't it, about scripts as well. There is elements where it's script and transy, but elements where it's using stuff like from NLP, where you're removing stuff, or you know, the emotional detox. So it's incorporating it's metaphor, isn't it, with a couple of sort of like little hypnosis tools, really.
So it's open to refinement.
Of course it is. I mean, basically everything is, isn't it? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And thank you for your effort.
Oh no, you're welcome. Yeah, change it. Do what you will. If you get anything useful from it, then that's great.
So have you used it with people who wanted to stop smoking and used it exactly like that, and it's worked?
Yeah, that's what I've used it for. Mainly for stop smoking, but and for some weight loss. But again, it's not like every smoker I will use it for. But if I feel like they're really up for something different and they really enjoy the whole sort of hypnosis experience, and we've got a super good rapport, and then I'll do it.
Yeah, I get how it would work. There's a lot of like suggestibility in it and stuff like that would actually like create a lot of good change. So
I hope so. It's trying to do direct suggestion in there, isn't it, with embedded commands and all the stuff that we know that we need to do.
You've got a few new hands up. I don't know if Christiana's hand is up again or if that was just from before.
I think she's gotten to taking it down.
And then Persis, Diana, and Anne are all next.
Yeah.
So if you just want to unmute yourself, Persis, then go ahead and ask your question or comment, whatever.
Lara, that was really powerful. I love the way you weaved one metaphor after the other into, you know, keeping the mind really active, wondering what next. And so that was really good. And I really felt chills at one point because whatever my problem is, it always takes me back to my dad passing away 14 years ago, when he said, look at that face in the crowd, and there's a face that's going to tell you, you know, give you the wisdom. And that's when I saw his face and I said, oh gosh, it's again taking me back there. You know, so it takes me back there. But it was really good because later on, I felt chills, kind of, you know, as everything was wearing off and out. And I felt, all right, probably now I'm going to let it go. It's going to go.
Great. So you feel like you've got something, you let something go tonight.
Yeah. And that big white dog, I don't even know where that came from, because in the end, there's this huge white dog sitting in front of me, just gets up and walks away. And I'm like, where did that come from? I don't know what meaning it had, but it was really good. It was great. You did fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Diane.
Persis, I love the white dog, and it made me think of that metaphor of the white dog and the black dog, and which one gets bigger is the one that you feed. And I thought of my mother when you said who's going to cut this off. So it was very, very moving. Thank you. I also wanted to just say on this question of what do you use, which script do you use with who kind of thing. Lately, I've been doing something I've never done before, and I'm really liking it. And so are my clients. I'm asking them, I'm telling them, I work with scripts. I weave through the script, the specifics of what we're talking about and the things that are, for you. But this is collaborative. And so, for instance, we could do a script on the Albatross and letting go of something that you've had trouble, or the healing train. And people have been choosing their own. And for instance, with the healing train, it turned out to be the perfect script for her for several reasons. And I actually wouldn't have chosen that one. So I think I'm going to keep doing that and having people.
That's a great idea. If it's stupid though, because if someone said to me, would you like to do an Albatross with a ship? I'd say no, to be honest. That's the fine thing. It's like, it doesn't appeal to me at all with like the boats and ships. But I don't know. I think sometimes you don't even know what you're going to enjoy, do you, in hypnosis?
Yeah. And if you said to let go of something you've had a hard time of letting go of, you might have said yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think if you have to offer me Albatross, I mean, you like the idea of an Albatross, so I'd say yes to the Albatross. But if you say you're on a boat, I'd say maybe not. But if you say a healing train, oh yeah, I like a healing train. It's just lots of different images. Yeah, no, it's good, great that they've said what they want, because then they're already invested into it anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just wanted to throw that out there, and thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea.
Beautiful.
I know. Thank you for being here. I really.
I wouldn't have missed.
So grateful to all of you who have come. I am.
And if you want to unmute yourself, then go ahead. Bob's already talking.
No, let him go first, please.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to say thanks, Lara. It was absolutely amazing. I'm one of these people that used to be a rubbish person when it came to being hypnotized. And I'm getting better. The more I do, the better I'm getting. And today I found myself going really deep. I can remember parts of it and not parts of it. And on the ship, because I was a single parent to 7 kids, I found myself on this ship as the captain of the ship with all these kids. But the kids are grown now. But in my moment in the hypnosis, they were small. They were much smaller, and I needed to protect them. I don't remember a great lot, but when you were saying this Albatross, you shot the Albatross and you're wearing it, where do you feel it? I had this huge heaviness in my chest, Lara. It was so heavy, and it was like I was wearing it right on the very, very front of my chest. And for me, and you're going, let it go, all the Carl Smith stuff. And then when you said, imagine me sort of pulling it out of you, I could feel it, Lara. I could actually feel it coming up and actually going. So the combination of everything that you have used, that I found it really quite profound.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was amazing. So thank you.
I'm going to treasure those words, honestly. Really precious, and thank you. Amazing feedback. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bob, did you have a comment?
Yeah. Somebody needs to be the bad guy. It might as well be me.
Oh no,
Lara, you know I love you. No, it's wonderful. It's just a small thing. And as we started, the opening words were how you shot an Albatross, and I went ooh. And it's just that over the last couple of days, I've been working. Here we go. I've been working with vegans. Yeah.
Oh.
I know one or two. If I sat down and I started off with, so we shoot an Albatross. Ooh, yeah. So I wanted to know if it's worth considering this Albatross that comes flying down and just grabs you and will not let you go. It's something maybe worth considering. I can tell you my wife's a vegan, and she would have a challenge going through something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's an interesting world.
It is. It's interesting. But even the whole thing about shooting anything, like I said, I'm not a violent person. And the whole dream was quite shocking. That when I had that dream, I was shocked because I can't even watch violence on TV. I really can't. I mean, I do like violent stuff, but the violent torture stuff I actually can't watch. But for me, part of the, even as, I mean, it's not that, part of me thinks it almost has to be that shocking, because you're trying to get rid of something that unconsciously you feel so repelled by in yourself. So you may be right, but and
Oh,
you're right.
I'm not saying I'm right.
No, but it may be wise to, but the whole point is you can change it any way that you want, can't you? Because the idea is you're relieving a burden. And if you think you're going to alienate someone by it being a dead bird, then there's no point alienating them if it's not going to work, then is it? But
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, so I mean, I've created a protocol that worked for me based on my experience and what happened to me. But absolutely, if it's going to put someone off and you've got an instinct that they wouldn't like it.
I think personally, I'd like to shoot Carl Smith and have him wrap around my neck, like go through the whole thing. Then release him and he flies off. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, do you think it would work? Do you think it would get the people?
Write it down.
I had a thought. What about, instead of, for those people who might, have an issue with shooting the albatross, you could just say you've accidentally killed the albatross and let them fill in the blank of how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me thinks, you know what, you're always going to alienate some people with some things, aren't you? You can like tailor this and tailor, and then if it's not quite powerful enough, then you're just not going to have an impact on somebody else. So,
but I don't see the problem because you brought it back to life. So
exactly, it's a fairy tale, isn't it?
It was a story from start to finish, and it never died. It wasn't died.
Good point. That's the answer I was looking for. Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah. It's a fairy tale, isn't it?
Let's see. I'm going to go back to gallery so I can see if anybody else's hands are up. And no, but Lynn has a cute kitty cat whose ears are up. Let's see. I don't see anybody else. So, yeah.
I also think it's quite important to shoot the albatross. Actually, I think it reminds me of Freddie Jacquin's arrow technique. I think that is quite important. I think that feeling of I think you need to shoot the albatross, Lara.
I think yeah, I know what you're saying, because I think as well, especially if you're coming from a disempowerment, and I think that's what I felt and I think you can't get something more. It's a universal metaphor, isn't it? The albatross, even without having known that poem, we all know what the image is of, get the albatross from your neck, because of that, without ever reading that poem. And I think to shoot an albatross is also another universal metaphor for shooting a gift. And I think you're right. Some part of me thinks it needs to be a big act to have that sense of empowerment, particularly for people that aren't used to standing up for themselves or taking action, something that quite strong. Yeah,
it was fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad you stayed up for it, Lynn. Thank you. It's like very close to midnight now, isn't it, for you?
No, the time was all wrong. It's actually an hour earlier than I thought. So it's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Yay. I'm so glad.
Great.
All right. I think that, unless there's anything else, any parting words that you have for us, we're going to go ahead and just wrap this up, and I'll stop the recording.
I just want to say thank you, all of you. Really, I'm genuinely really touched and really appreciate you coming. And I was really nervous about doing it because you're all like very, very experienced hypnotists, and I'm honoured and just like grateful for you all being here. So thank you, and I'm glad you got something good from it. And thank you, Chrissa. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You did such a fantastic job, Lara. So thank you very, very much. It was quite an honor to have you.
Okay,
and I'm going to preface next month's real quick, because the person that I asked isn't quite ready to do it. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it on the magic eraser protocol, which everybody can kind of familiarize themselves with, because I did drop the document into the Hypnotherapy Uncensored group, but we're going to go ahead and do like a live demo. So that'll be fun. So that'll be the first Wednesday of next month. And then maybe Bob Burns can come and do one.
I'd love to. Give me a call. I'll definitely come back and do something. Very quickly, Lara, you sent me a message today about horses coming, and I didn't know what the hell you're on about, because my memory is really bad. I know exactly what you're on about, and that's why I started laughing halfway through Albatross thing there. Yes, wonderful. Hello, horse.
Yeah, he turned up.
Yes, give me a shout on that, Chris, and I'd love to do something.
Absolutely. Maybe we could have you for June. Does that sound good?
Absolutely. Give me a shout on that. I'll put it in the diary.
I will send you a message and then I'll hound you and remind you repeatedly because you just told me that you have a bad memory. So I'll just make sure.
Actually, I don't have a bad memory. I have a photographic memory. I was trained by a little guy.
Okay. Joke's on us. That was good. That was good.
And I was waiting. I was on the edge of my seat.
I was about to finish the sentence for you.
I was making up all sorts of names.
Very witty. Very witty. We got a room full of comedians in here, but I'm pumped. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and night and month.
Bye.
Bye.